This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, good morning all. So in the last class, we have seen the multi-value UI elements with OData, and also we discussed the project that we are going to develop. So in our project, we have 4 screens. So this is the first page and second page. So first and second page, so partially they are ready. So not partially, mostly 99% they are ready. So except few changes that we need to do. So in the first view, when you click on the list item, so it has to take you to the second view. And in the second view, whatever the list item that you clicked, so that item details, it has to display here in the form of object header and icon tab bar. So you should have the 2 buttons, delete and edit, in the second page. If you click on delete, straight away that product should get deleted. If you click on edit, it has to get to another screen, so which is our 4th screen, that is update product screen. So here you need to pre-populate these values in this particular screen with that product details. And if you click on update, it should get updated. If you click on cancel, it should go back. Okay, so similarly, if you click on create product in the first screen, it has to come to the create product screen. And in this screen, you will be giving a empty product screen, and on click of save, so you need to create a new product in the backend, and if you click cancel, you should go back. Okay, so that is our application end-to-end project actually. So let us see the first page and second page first. So here we need to create a product button, but we have a preview button. Let us remove it. So go to the view, first.view.xml, come down. So remove this button and just say this button as a create button. So ID button create, text equal to create product. And so if you want a blue color, you can keep, otherwise you can just keep a gray color, not a problem. And the icon also you can keep. So it looks good if you give an icon, SAP-icon : // So I'm just giving a add icon here. Now save this. So let's open our second view as well. If you refresh, you can see the button has changed. So you can see create product button. Okay, so as of now, even you click this button, nothing will happen because we have not written any code. We'll do that. So let's go to the second view. And in the second view also, you need to create the footer. So we don't have footer in the second view. So you can see there is no footer. So let's create the footer. So don't write the code again and again, copy paste. In real time, if once you become confident in writing the code, you no need to write again and again. Wherever this part of the code is present, you can copy and paste and save your time. Okay. So a small network drop happened, because of which you might have find a little lag in my voice. But anyway, so I will get a message whenever there is a network drop, and I stop speaking from that time. Don't worry. Okay. Right. So next, so in the second view, I need 2 buttons. One is for delete. So this is my delete button, and on press. So let me write on delete, and icon equal to. So let's write the icon also as delete. Copy this entire button, paste one more time, and say this is edit, and this is on edit, and icon also edit icon we have. So similarly, in the first view, press equal to, instead of on submit, let us write on add. Add means add product. So those functions are not ready. So I'm just defining in the view. I need to implement in a controller. Okay. So all these things you already know, creating footers and all. Okay. So we no need to explain much on this. You already know all these. Uh, so all these UI elements as well as the layout, simple form layout, all that stuff. Right. So now the first page and second page, they are according to the requirement. So the first page should have the list and with a create product button. Yes, it is having. And the second page should have two buttons, delete and edit. Yes, they are having delete and edit also they are having. Now we need to focus on the two new pages. One is create product and another one is update product. You know about the navigation, so I'm leaving the navigation for you. Okay, so I will create the product. So I will also, go to this create product and update product. So back navigations. So you please take care. Just like, when I click back button, I'm landing up into the first view. So similarly, you need to write the code in every controller on back button. Okay. So every page should contain a back button. So cancel is also kind of a back only. Even you click on cancel, you have to come back. Okay. So that is also a kind of a back button. Now I'm creating the new page, that is create product screen. Okay. So after that, I will create update product screen. So only for the view, I will just uh, take it from the previous project because it doesn't have anything. So it just contains a simple form layout. That's it. So I'll just first create product. Yeah, so it just contains a simple form layout, guys. Simple form layout and save and cancel buttons. Nothing else. Okay. So, so if you want, I will explain also. Doesn't have much code. Whatever the code simple form layout, those only. So Control V. I just copied it from the previous project actually. Now I will open this create view. So all of you observe what this create view is having. So even if you want to create, right click, new file. Okay, write create.view.xml. Okay, so in that you need to have this an empty structure first of all, empty skeleton. Okay, give me one more second. I need to remove this and replace with our namespace as well as the controller. Yeah. So the controller name should have the same, the same path, that is web app folder, com.viassys.training.viassys batch 44 demo dot controller means controller folder. And inside the controller, you should also have create controller. So we don't have create controller, but anyway, I'm just giving, we'll create it, not a problem. Okay. So that is basically your controller name. And these are the libraries for simple form layout. So you can see here. So this is the simple form that I'm talking. So this is the simple form, product information form. So wherever material is there, find and replace and write it with product, PRODUCTS, replace all. Yeah. Okay. So now you can see the simple form with 6 fields: product ID, product name, product description, price, currency code, and all. And there are 2 buttons in the footer. One is save and another one is cancel. So this is our requirement for the create product screen. This is our requirement for the create product screen. So same to same, we need, so even for the update product, but we'll see that later. So we'll handle update product completely, once we, once we finish this create product screen with the functionality. Okay. So view is ready, but controller also to be ready. So we need to create the controller. So you can see the controller name is pointing to the create.controller.js. So this is the controller. So which is not ready in the controller folder, we need to create it. Okay, yes, we'll create it, not a problem. So here I'm just thinking of changing this product ID also. Find and replace. So wherever this ID IP mat is there, so I'll just replace it with ID IP instead of mat. I'll write PRD. Okay, so replace. Okay, so ID IP, product ID, product name, product description, price, currency code, ID IP status. Yeah, fine. Okay, so I changed the input field IDs also. So hope you understand this view. So there is nothing new in this view. You just prepare this screen designing. That's it. Okay, with a simple form layout and a footer. That's it. Nothing else in the screen. Fine. Now let's go and create its controller. So controller, you can just copy and paste any one of the controller and do it. So that is one way. Otherwise, you create your controller from the scratch. So that is also fine actually. Hmm? So I'm just creating the controller. I'll just copy the code from the previous, but I will delete the code and write it again. Don't worry. I'll go to the controller. Where is this? Here. So create controller, not this one, sorry. This is the create controller. I'm just copying this one. Go to the controller and paste. So this has created create.controller.js. But this create.controller.js, so it is already having some code. I will remove all this code. Okay. So even this one, if you want to keep this one you can keep otherwise. So I'm just keeping my controller very plain. That is so back to the initial stage. So when you create the controller for the first time, right? So I just made it back to the first stage so that you can align on this. So I'm just copying the web app folder technical name here, com.viasus training.viasus batch 44. So why I'm copying? Because when you copy any file from previous project, so definitely this will not be same. So you can see this is viasus batch 43 backup. Okay, so remove this and keep your com.viasus.training.viasus batch 44 demo.controller.create. So my controller is empty and this is what basically you need. Okay, the controller should be empty so that we can write our logic from here. Again, save this. Right. So what I have done on an overall level, I created a new view and its controller, right? So if you observe, I created a new view, that is create product view, and I created its controller as well. So why I should create the controller? Because on click of save and cancel where you write the code, you need to write the code in that controller only. Okay. So every view should be created with its controller. So 1:1 relationship that we already discussed, right? On click of this create product, I need to land up in the newly created view. So this comes under routing. How many pages you have, those many routes you should have, those many targets you should have. So we already discussed this point as a part of the routing. I have given the equation number of routes equal to number of targets equal to number of pages. Okay, so now I have totally 3 pages. This page I yet to create. So 3 pages means 3 routes should be there, 3 targets should be there. But we have only 2 routes and 2 targets. We need to create one more. So go to manifest.json where the routing is there. So this is our routing. So you can see the routes contains only 2 routes. This is the first route. This is the second route. Now it's time to create another route. So put a comma, just copy any one of them, not a problem. Okay, and call this as create view, and you call this route as create route, and call this target as create target. Okay, so this is over. Now you need to create the create target here. Just copy the target, any one of the target, paste once again, and you need to copy the name create target here. And what is the view name that you need to load? Create. So what is our view name? Create.view.xml. So it means create. And ID, so you can give the ID as ID create, and view level. So what is the view level? So view level means from the home page, at which level it is. So it is in the next level. So that is 2. So view level is still 2. Okay. So even the second page from the home page, at which level it is still 2. This is 1. Home page is 1. Second page is 2. Even this one, it is also 2, because I can directly on click of this button I can come here. So only 1 level extra. But if you take the update screen, at which level it is, this is 1. If you want to reach this one, from here to here 2, from here to here 3. So if you are creating the target for update view, then the view level will be 3. Okay, so that is how you need to understand the view level. So now my routing concept is over. I created a new route and new target. So now I can jump to this particular view on click of this button. So let us write the code on click of the button. So where is this button? In the first view. Let's go to the first view. So what is this? Is the button, create product button on press. So you are calling a function on add. So copy this function, go to the first controller. So you need to implement this function here. You need to implement this function here. So I'm just deleting all this code not required. Just deleting this entire code. The project should not contain all this code. Let's remove this, whatever that is not required. Okay. Sorry, I deleted everything. We need only a part of the code. Yeah, we just need this one, and on search employee. So these two only we need. The rest you can delete actually, so that your controller looks so simple. So I'm just deleting this one also. And this you already have as a part of your JSON, JSON model. Okay, so when you select the employee from the list, so you will land up into the next page. So that code we need. And the search functionality also, I just kept it. So this is the search, fine. So now we need to write another function in the controller, that is on add function. So inside on add function, what I need to do? I need to make a navigation to the newly created screen. So how can I make a navigation to the newly created screen? So this dot get view get owner component dot get router dot nav to. Okay, just make this statement. That's it. And I need to give the root name to which I'm landing up into. So what is the root name I need to give? So I need to give create root, because you need to go to the create view. So just give this create root. That's it. Now if you click this button, you will land up into the create create view. So I'm clicking this product, create product, and you are landed up into create product. So if you click cancel, it should go back. So just take care of the back functionality. So even if you click this button, so it should go back. Okay, so you take care of the back functionality as I told you. So again, this dot get owner component dot get router dot nav to. Okay, all right. So now the user will enter the new product ID. Okay, and new product name, product description, price, currency code, status. And when you click on save, the new product should get created. That means it should go and call the create entity method in the backend. Okay, so let us see how we need to achieve this. So for the next 5 minutes, you just need create view and create controller. So you don't need any other files. Okay, so focus only on these two. Just a second. What did I do? Okay, so we have 5 products. All right. Let's go to the create controller. So the user will fill all this form, and when you click on save, so first you need to read this data and keep it ready as a HTTP request. Okay, you need to send this data as a HTTP request. Hope you still remember how we tested the create, single create. Okay, so we need to give one record as a HTTP request. Okay, and send that data as a response. And the HTTP request should be in JSON format. Okay, right. So that's what I'm doing first. The moment he click on save, that is on save, go to the create controller and write the code. So this is the function. Okay, so whatever the HTTP request that you send, that we call that as a payload. We call that as a payload equals to, it's a JSON object with open braces, closing braces. Now it should have a name and value page. Name, value, name, value, name, value. Name should be the OData property as it is. So product ID colon its value, product name colon its value, like that. Okay. So value. So value is something what you enter in this screen. So you need to read it from the screen. You need to read all these values from the screen. This dot get view dot by ID. So point out to the first ID, that is this one, dot get value. So you need to get the value. Copy this statement, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Product name, description, price, currency code, and status. So I'm repeating once again, the left hand side values should match your OData entity properties as it is with the case. So if the case is small or big also, it won't the data will not go, the data will not submit. Okay.
There is one. It is a status, not STTD use.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the correction, Prasad. So here again, product name, description, price, currency code, and the last one, product status. So just let me cross check the IDs, product name, product ID, IP, currency code, ID, IP, status, ID, IP, status. So better you copy paste the IDs because you always have it. Definitely have some problem with the IDs actually. So best practice is copy paste. ID, IP, product price. It's same actually. ID, IP, product description. Fine. And ID, IP, product name, ID, IP, product name, and ID, IP, product ID. ID, IP, PRD, ID. Yeah. So looks good. Right. Now you are ready with the payload. So now what you need to do is you need to call your OData service with this particular HTTP request, and you need to say that I want to create a record.
Post
Okay.
method.
Yeah, post method. But in OData API, it is the post method in terminology of the gateway client. So here in the OData layer, that means in the OData model API, it is create itself. Okay.
Oh,
So now,
okay.
first of all, you need to, if you want to call this particular post request or create request, whatever, first of all, you should have the OData model object in your hand. Without having OData model object in your hand, you cannot trigger any method. So you need to get the OData model object. How can you get the OData model object? The OData model will be a global model. Okay, so the way whenever you add the OData service like this new OData service, okay, so the OData model gets added and it will be global, means you can get that object from anywhere. Okay, so it is everywhere, in every view, every controller, in component.js, in every file you can get the OData model object. It's a global object. So how can you get it? Just write variable o model equal to this dot get view dot get model. That's it. So from the view also I can get. So I can write from the component also I can get. So instead of writing get view, I can write this dot get owner component. So from the component also I can get. Okay.
There is one question.
Yeah.
Suppose if your Fiori application or SAP application is using maybe 4 or 5 OData models, assume, okay?
No, once again, one application, one model, that is a standard from SAP UI5. So even standard Fiori applications will also contain only one OData service. They can contain multiple entity sets. Once again, let me complete. They can contain n number of entity sets. Okay, there is no restriction on the number of entity sets, but one application, one service. That is the standard from Fiori. Okay, so if you want, you can cross check all the Fiori applications. They contain only one OData model, one service only. Okay, but in that service they can have n number of entity sets.
Okay, because I think yesterday I gone through one of the application where I found like a multiple OData services, but let me cross check again as you said.
You
Okay?
check, they are not multiple OData services. They are one service with multiple entity sets. You have, see, when you see a metadata document, you will understand. Okay, so for one application, there will be only one OData service, and that OData service only can have any number of entity sets. Okay, that's how the design should be. Okay, so
I
I'm
have a
also
question.
answering your question. I'm also answering your question. In case if you want multiple OData services also, you can add in the same way. New OData service, you can add it in the same way. But More than one OData service when you are adding, it should be given with a alias name, so
Alias
that
name, right? Yeah.
in the get model you need to give the same alias name here. Okay,
Yeah,
but it is
because
not
it's
the
quite
standard.
normal. Because my question is like, yeah, I know, understand now. I understand because it's quite evident that, see, if you have a sales order model, like, so basically it talks about only sales order. Suppose if you want to navigate to material, maybe something else. So maybe material they have already SAP created some OData service which we can reuse it. No need to develop anything in the
No,
existing
no, no.
components, right?
Prasad, if you want, you can go and revisit and check the standards. So one application, one OData service. Okay. So if you want, you can keep, thousands of entity sets also, not a problem. But one application means one OData service. This is the standard from Fieri. Okay.
Okay,
So
let me cross check. Yep.
yeah, so you can cross check. See, if you, I also given the solution. If you want to add service, I have already given the solution.
Okay.
You can have
Okay.
add number of services. But what happens is when your application is loading, first it has to connect those many OData services. As the number of OData service connections increase, your application initial loading will get slowed down. So that's why SAP has given one application should have only one OData service until unless that is very much needed for you. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Right. So now you need to get the OData model like this, and now start triggering your create call. How you need to trigger model dot. So in case of gateway client, we do that we using selecting post and all because it's a gateway client. But now it's a OData model. SAP has given a API to call the CRUD operations in that API. So you need to use in the same manner. Okay. So to call a create call, that is post call, you need to write create like this, and it accepts some parameters. You need to write those parameters. The first parameter slash the entity set in which you want to create the product. Okay. So I want to create the product in the product set. So you need to write slash product set, comma, second parameter, the HTTP request. Okay. That is new product data with which you want to create the record. So the new product data is already ready in this particular payload. So you need to give payload as a second parameter. That's it. And followed by success and error functions. Success. So this function automatically gets called. So if the the new product creation is successful, in case of any error, so it goes to the error function. Okay. So in the success function, normally we show a message box. So I have not, introduced message box till now. So now I am introducing the message box. So this is the library for message box, SAP/m/message box. So the message box is used to show some success and error, messages. Message box dot show. Why it is not suggesting? Okay, it's inside. Okay, message box dot show. So three parameters it takes. First one, whatever the message that you want to show. New product has successfully created.
Does it come in the navigation footer?
No, it comes at the center.
Center. Oh,
The
if you
center
want to
like a
get something
pop-up.
at no, normally in Fiori it comes at the footer, right? If you want to get something message in the footer, then how do you do?
So if you see in Fiori also, I don't think it comes in the footer. So it is basically a message toast that comes like a
Message. Oh, okay.
so it comes like pop up and go. So that message box and message toast both are same, almost same. This comes exactly at the center. That comes it just blink and go. Okay, so
Oh,
whatever you are saying, it's not at the footer. It's message toast. Okay, so which just come and so it blink and go. Okay, so I will show both. Don't worry.
okay. Okay.
So new product successfully created, and the second parameter is the icon. So we show success icon for this. Message box dot icon dot success. So that gives a tick mark icon, green color tick mark icon. And the third parameter is the title. So you can write the title like product created. So you can give any title. This is the title for the message box. Okay, and similarly, we show some error message like some error occurred. So we give some general message. Good. Please check the data or internet connectivity. So we give some general message here, and this is this error message box which gives error icon and in the title. So you can write the title like oops, error. Okay, so that's it. So this is how you need to trigger the create request to the backend. Now save this.
Here is one question.
Yeah.
You are using the statement, right? Var model equal to this get view dot get model. Suppose if we have
Exact.
JSON model
Okay.
and model both we have, which model
Okay.
we call?
That was a good question. So when you have again two models, you need to give the alias name. It doesn't matter whether it is JSON or OData. You keep the alias name for the JSON model. Okay. Yeah.
And here in that message box, I want to show the response. Suppose if one message ID is created, we are sending response, right?
Okay. So you will get it here. So in the success message,
Hello.
Sorry guys, actually I'm lost with the network drop. So anyway, Nag is asking one question, I remember. Nag only, right? So Nag, you can proceed with your question.
Yeah, I'm just asking, how can I display that response in that message?
Yeah, so the response will be present in this response object. Okay, but it will be the same record where you want to display.
No,
The
in that
response
message,
is just
product ID. Suppose we are creating one product, right? It will go and create
okay,
new product. So
okay,
I display that product ID here.
okay. So from this response, you can, yes, you can show the product ID, but in our case, you already have the product ID here also, so you can display that product ID. Okay, so if you want to read it from this one, so you need to just write response dot product ID. That's it. So it will give you the same product ID that got created in the backend.
Okay.
Okay.
And suppose if you are using deep entity for
In
creating.
that case also, you will get the same response. Okay. So from that again, response dot product ID will give you the product ID.
But create statement will change. We are using multiple entity sets.
No. See, in the create deep entity also from, so when we tested from the gateway client, how many URLs you used? Only one URL. Okay. So you will use this one only, but the data that you are sending, so it is only one product record, but you will also have a table of suppliers. Okay. So multiple records of suppliers. So that also will send. So when you send that also, so at that time, so it calls create deep entity. So this is not calling create deep entity. This is calling single create. Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. So now let us save and let us test if the product will get created or not. Okay. Just a second. Refreshing the application. Okay, hope you can able to see the screen, guys. So I'm clicking on create product button. So this is my screen, PRD006 product name. I'm writing product name as something. Okay. Guys, Subbu is saying screen is not visible. So others can able to see.
Yeah, I can see.
Okay.
Yes.
Subbu, please rejoin. Okay. So product name, I'm just giving some product, doesn't matter, dining table. Okay, and description, some, let's say some 100 centimeters length table. So price is around some 2,500 or some 3,000 or, and product status, let's say I'm just creating it like approved or whatever. Okay. So I'm clicking on save and you can see the success message product created. So you can see a new product has successfully created. Okay. So now let's go to the backend and see so if the new product got created or not. Okay. Actually, you really no need to go to the backend, but I'm just showing you. So you can just go to the previous screen also, where just actually if you click on back button, you implement this back button, this dot get owner component dot get router dot nav to. Okay. So I'm using browser back and you can see the dining table already. So whatever you created dining table. So you can see, and if you click this button, it will also go to the second page. See, dining table. 100 centimeter length dining table. So whatever I created just now. Okay. So, but anyway, if you want to cross check with the table, so you can also do that. So you should have this dining table record with you in the table. So definitely it will have, otherwise it won't show you on the screen. And here it is, dining table. Okay, so that is how you need to create the record from the front end. Okay, so now let's quickly move on to the edit functionality. So that is update. So this is save. And one more thing, that's a homework for you again. So when you click on save, so after the product got created, so you need to clear this form. You need to clear this form. So how to clear the form? This dot get view by ID. So point to the individual ID dot set value empty. Set value empty. You just need to give empty in each and every field so that the form becomes easy and it is ready for the next screen. If you want to create, again. Otherwise, what happens when you click on create product also, the form will still have the data. So you need to clear this form on success. Okay, on error also. It doesn't matter. So even though error, even though, success, you need to clear the form. So basically inside success, so you need to write the statement, this dot get view by ID dot, instead of get value, write set value, and within the round brackets, you need to keep empty. So that clears the form. Okay. So just take care of this one also. Okay, just need to write this dot get view by ID, 6 statements, and set value empty. That's it. Okay, or you can also separate that function of 6 statements into a separate function. Let me write. So I will write for this and you take care of for update. Okay. So I'm writing clear form function. Okay. So inside the clear form, I need to write this dot get view by ID dot, instead of get value, you need to write set value empty. Okay. So copy this statement 6 times. And wherever, in success and error, you just call this function. That's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so just replace. Okay, so now you call this function in success and error. This dot clear form. Okay, so even if it is error, so it's your responsibility to clear the form. Understood? Okay, so what I have done, 6 statements in the clear form, and I am calling that function from here and here so that the form will be cleared and it is ready for the next create. Okay, right. So you can just copy paste the code for update also. So now we are moving to the update functionality. So when you click this edit button, so delete will see, first we'll complete the edit. When you click on edit, first of all, it should go to the edit screen. First of all, it should go to the edit screen. Guys, we'll complete this edit and delete in tomorrow's class. Okay, so that the time will be sufficient. Okay. So what do you say? Or you want me to cover now?
No, we'll go by tomorrow. I have a question.
Yeah, Prasad.
See, now clear, you put some function in the controller. That is fine. At the same time, when you go for update a view, you do the same. Okay.
Okay.
Is there any way that you can put this function in a maybe component .js, and then you can call from there every time in each page?
You
Is it
can
possible?
see for every view, that view's functionality should be written in that controller only. Okay. And the IDs also should be different actually. See, now you created this view with these IDs, right? The IDs that you create in the other view, so will not be same as these IDs. Are you getting my point? See, in the same controller, you can reuse the function any number of times, not a problem. But if you want to write in component.js, this statement, see, this dot get view, if you write in component.js, whose view it is? Okay, in component.js, this dot get view doesn't have any meaning. Okay, so in controller, it is having meaning. So these things we write in here only. Okay, so data sharing mainly we use in controller. Okay, but if it is having
Okay.
any other logic in which is not depending on this dot get view, yes, you can write a common logic, some mathematical calculations or whatever. Okay, so here you should keep this here only. So first of all, these IDs will not be same as the IDs that you write in the second view or the other view basically. Okay. So the controller, the views controller should take care of everything of that particular view. Okay, anything belongs to that view has to be taken care by that controller. Okay, that is the major, segregation or the major association between the view and controller. Okay, component we mainly use for data sharing, like so OData model sharing, JSON model sharing, or any other data sharing. Okay. So any other questions, guys?
Hello. Yeah, Rizwan. I have a couple of questions.
Okay.
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, is it recommended to use only by ID or is there any other way?
See, every UI element will have a different ID. Okay. So definitely you need to go with the ID. This is one. If not, you can
Okay.
use a, for these kind of cases, you can use a for loop. Okay. So if you want to use a for loop, first of all, these IDs you need to keep in an array, and then you can write this statement only once. So if you want, I will show you that also. So first define an array of IDs. Okay. And so keep all these IDs in this array, comma separated values. Okay. This is 1, comma 2, comma 3, comma. Okay. All these IDs, and write a for loop. For variable I equals to 0, I less than that array of IDs dot length I plus plus. Okay. So here you need to write only once. Don't write many number of times. This dot get view by ID. So remove this ID. Okay, so remove this ID by ID. In place of by ID, you need to write from this array ith index. So keep the ith index here. So this is the only possibility. So there is no other possibility if you want to reduce the code. Sorry. Okay. So 3 lines only. For example, you have 20 fields like that, then this array concept will help you. Keep all the IDs here and you can do that. So hope I answered your question.
Yes. I mean, but set value by using by ID, we are indirectly hard coding it, right? Can't we use any JSON model
No,
set properties or
IDs are
get
like that only. IDs you see again in JSON model you will hard code. That is also a kind of hard coding. No, so this is like this only. Okay, so even in the standard Fiori applications also you will find this. So as it is. standard field application, if the fields are more, he is also using array. Okay, so he will use array and he will loop it. See,
Okay.
answer to your question, even if you are using JSON model, in the JSON model also you need to hard code these. Yes or no?
Yes, yes. But
See,
I mean,
somewhere
if
you
we
need
are
to hard
going
code
for
the IDs.
no, if I am using the same ID n number of times, so uh,
No,
sometimes there is a scenario where I mean, if we are going for a JSON set property and get properties, then mapping everything will be there, right?
every ID should be different, first of all. Every UI element should have a different ID. No two UI elements can have the same ID. Immediately it throws error. Okay.
Okay. And one more question is
See,
that
immediately I copied the same ID. Now see what's happened. The control ID is same as another control ID. Okay.
no, my question is actually different. Yeah, in this scenario, we are taking the same only one form field, and in that we
Even
have
if
different
you
field.
no,
But
even if you have
there is
another
a
form also, the IDs should be different. Okay. IDs should always be different. No two IDs should be same. See, I just copied that simple form. You can see same
I mean,
IDs.
I got your point. The ID for the same form we are taking it.
Okay.
If I am trying to create the form, and if I am trying to display the form second time also,
Okay.
same form with an updated one. Okay,
Okay.
I think we can ignore this one. My actual second question is,
Actually, I'm not able to
we are
understand your question properly. So if you can explain your, whatever you have in your mind little better, I will answer your question.
yeah, okay. There is a scenario for me. Let's assume that within the same page, I
Okay.
have a number of. I mean, I need to display the customer view couple of times, or the
Okay.
same form couple of times within the same page.
Okay.
So in such kind of scenarios, I mean, I had gone through one of the code where they were using instead of by ID, they are using some JSON model and using set properties and get properties. So I
No,
thought
no. See,
maybe.
in case if you want to repeat this one, you can keep
Mhm.
this code in a H box or V box and you can repeat. Okay. But
Okay.
IDs,
Okay.
IDs should never be same. If you want, I will challenge. Give me that
No,
code.
no, no.
Definitely.
No, no,
So, so what I'm saying is,
no.
see, if you want to repeat this one, there are many ways. Okay, a number of ways. If you want to display the same in the customer page, whatever you said. So if you want to display it multiple times, yes, yes, we have. Okay, so n number of ways are there to display. So so here in our previous, when we have started the JSON model. So at the time to show the data from one page to other page, so that data we are pointing to a JSON model, and from the JSON model we are passing the data. So at that time, no ID concept, right? No ID concept.
Yes,
So
yes.
we store the
Yeah.
data in the JSON, and from the JSON we have taken. Yes, you can do that also. Okay,
Okay.
but in our case, keeping that in the JSON is waste. Because so in our case we have a form, and when you click on save, so you just need to create, and this you are not saving. You no need to go to another view and display over there. If you want to save this data and store it in some other view or something, then you create a JSON model. In this case also save there. Okay, so these values you can bind it to the JSON model, and from the JSON model you can read. Okay, so
Oh,
it depends
okay.
on the scenario actually. So if you give me the scenario, I
Okay.
will tell you a hell lot of ways to do that.
Okay. My actual second question is that I mean, first time we are reading the data in the first view. Okay,
Okay.
when we created this particular product, and we had saved it. So are we reading the data again from the backend,
No,
or
no. OData model has a wonderful mechanism called auto refresh. So what it does, instead of refreshing your web page, it just refresh your only this particular list. So that's a very wonderful mechanism your OData model is having, which is given by SAP UI5. So it just auto refresh. So you might have observed when I create the product and just go back. So I just went back and this table is already having, this list is already having dining table. How? We no need to refresh. The OData model will automatically refresh your bindings. Okay, so it basically automatically gets your table. So that's a very nice thing with OData model.
Is it two-way binding or one-way binding? OData
It's
models.
not two-way binding. See, two-way binding means if you are doing change here, it will go to the server also. Okay.
Yes.
So see, if it is two-way binding, I no need to read this data like this, right? You don't need to read the data like this. So you can bind directly to the fields, and when you click on submit, it should go. No. So by default, it won't support. Okay.
Okay. No, my question is that, I mean, if somebody had changed the data in the backend table,
It will reflect
so
here.
I mean, at the same time, if I'm also trying to create from the front end
Somebody has changed
in
the
a
data in the
real-time
backend.
scenario.
Yeah. Yeah, so if somebody has changed the data in the backend, definitely the application refresh is needed, because see, this page is like this. Now, if I went to the
Hmm.
backend, and so this, for example, this record I just edited. So
Hmm.
this page is already loaded. So obviously it won't show. So you need to refresh.
Okay.
In case if you are doing any change in the backend, definitely refresh is needed, not only in UEFI technology, any technology in the world. Okay. But in case you are doing the operation from the front end for CRUD operations, okay, just like the way we have done. Okay. So for that thing, your OData model automatically refresh your, wherever that bindings you have done.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so since your list is binded with the product set, it automatically refresh. So without refreshing your page, it just refreshes your list. Okay, so that's wonderful mechanism. So that OData is having. Okay.
So, I mean, in real-time scenario, I mean, just for a clarification, I'm asking
Yeah,
this again
no
and again.
problem. No problem.
In real-time scenarios, I mean, we might be fetching the data, reading the data and displaying it to the end user, right? If there is a change in the backend, once the data had been fetched, so in order to get the updated data, we need to refresh it again,
Yeah,
just for
obviously.
clarification.
See, the client will not change the data randomly, right? At random times. If they want to change any backend data, they take, some. They inform the users that we are, some change data is changing or something, and then uh, they will take some time, like in the midnight and all, and then they will do it. Okay, so suddenly they don't change some record in the backend. But so from the front end, so yes, we need to refresh the application. So not only in UIFI technology, any technology. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, fine, guys. We'll meet with the remaining operations. If possible, we'll try to complete the create deep insert also in the next class. Okay. Bye bye.
No, that's one. Any exception handlings here? Error instead of error messages.
So we don't have any exception handlings in this Subbu. So we don't have anything here. Okay. Okay. Fine, guys. Bye bye.